as a race manager and my responsibility to you as a team. So the third quarter, just before the fourth quarter, we start to determine what races we're going to go to. Once we've identified the races, leading up to the race, I go ahead and I make the registration. We do the bios, the team pictures. So the team picture that we took this morning, that's the one that will go to the new 2019. They have brochures for a lot of the venues that we do. And then we make sure that we get paid. We do an early bird special to help on savings and everything. And then if it is a out-of-state race in particular, I start to look at hotel accommodations. We have a host hotel. And if it warrants that we, like Montana, and we have activities, then we start looking at activities and what else we can do, our team dinner and all those good things. The day of the race, I become this banshee. I've got my, what is that? The clipboard. They call me Miss Clipboard, and I'm, hey, we're on heat 6, we're going to be on heat 10, so go to the bathroom now, or let's do warm up, or whatever it is. I hope I don't sound like that, but I feel like I do. So, but we try to get everything. We herd everybody together. We do our workouts together, and I'll tell you, don't eat yet. Let's get going. Just stay hydrated, and so we do all that good stuff to get us going onto the boats. And then, we do our best at the boats. We medal if we can, and then go home and start the race again during the racing season. So that's my obligation to you. And then last year was interesting because we heard a lot from the Pinks, and they said, hey, have you heard about this race? Have you heard about that race? And so we offered it up to you guys, and we said, where would you like to go? If you remember, the ones that were here. And you gave me a list, so we made a list, and everybody voted. And so by popular vote, we did what we could. Now the regular ones, the ones that are in our backyard here, our community, is the Long Beach race. So for the newbies, the Long Beach race, we have Baby Long Beach and Big Long Beach. Baby Long Beach is in the spring, so we do that in April. Big Long Beach is in July, a one-day event, and that's those are the two guaranteed ones that we will always do. So we did that. And then from your request, we did in May, we did the International Nevada Dragon Boat Festival. That was the first one. We do Vegas, that's not something we don't do, but usually we do that in October during the Rose Regatta. This year we said, let's try this one, and I think it was favorably received by everybody. You guys seem to like that one. Little different vibe there, but it was overall a good race for us. So that was our first time. We did a lot of firsts. And then, of course, September, that was the one that stood out most, was Montana and Kalispell, Flathead Lake. It was a great, I think, experience for everybody that went there. Afterwards, some of us stayed on and we did more activities. Now, all of this I could not have done without the committee. We had asked for a committee last year, and particularly with Montana, I couldn't have done it all because there was a lot of stuff to consider. We had, we had our team dinner, our hotel, and then where we were going to stay after the race itself. So again, we're looking at more hotels, and now we're looking at activities. So I want to give a shout out to the committee that was there for me, and that was Nada, Carla, Claudia, and Deborah. And we met after practice, and we strategized what we're going to do. So I want to thank them publicly for all this work they did for us. So then this year, after this race was over, the season was over, we took a pause and we discussed what we were going to do for 2019. So there was a lot of considerations. Things had changed a lot for us. And some of the things we considered was race participation. And what did the races look like in terms of filling up the boat? Because that's what it's all about, right? We're going to go, we need to fill up the boat. Well, we had no problem with the Long Beach, the community ones. You know what? Let me back up a bit. One more race we did was the October Santa Fe Dam race. That was a favorite of mine. I've always wanted to get families involved. And that was really well received. I think that was a time a lot of you newbies started doing it with us. So just by a show of hands, how many of you are interested in doing that again? With your families? Okay. Okay, good. That's good to know.
Is that your hand up, Bob?
He's got his hand up. The bad hand's up. Can dogs come?
There was no dogs.
And then there was a question about can children come too, because I know they would love to participate, but no, they had to be 18 and older, so. So no fur babies and no little ones.
But you don't have to have a family and friend to come to the race. We also had just a women's vote and stuff, so,
Yeah.
Come to the race, but if you want to bring a family.
Yeah, but this was the first time we did that, so I think it might be the first of many times we'll do that again. So let me continue on with the considerations for the race. So we knew that our Long Beach races were fine. We could fill the boat up. It was the out-of-state races that were a little challenging for us, right? And then the expenses, we took that into consideration. The expenses for out-of-state versus here. It's a little bit costly. The Montana one was, I think, just a rough ballpark figure was about 8,000, right? And know that, the team, we supported each other. We paid for the hotel during the race time. Our race dinner, we always have anyway. But we also had, prior to that, now had we known, we would have announced it earlier, but there was a conference going on that Thursday, and some of you went a day early, so we supported you and got you over there, paid for your registration, got you, I don't know if we Ubered you or whatever, but we got a taxi, Glacier Taxi, and so we wanted to support you in that effort. All right, so we did a lot of things to help out, and then the NATO sisters, where is Grace? Yes, Grace. Yes. They treated us to a lunch, so we got, pizza on them, and, all these little things that really touched our hearts. You guys were like, shoot, they weren't even there, and yet they were there, okay, so that was great. Yes?
Tell them who was at the conference and who he is.
Oh, Dr.
Mackenzie.
Who? Mackenzie, who is the whole,
Connie was there too.
I'm sorry?
Connie was there as well.
Was she presenting too?
No.
No, but she was just there. Okay.
Just
Yeah. And Dr. Mackenzie, he's from Canada, and he's the doctor that started the whole thing where, if you have breast cancer, you can in fact use your muscles and your arm and your upper body strength. So he was kind of like the pioneer of all of this, and so for him to be there, that was huge. I wish we had known about it. And then another thing we took into consideration, and this is, don't take it personal, it was just the lack of attendance. The full Montana crew, we couldn't get you all together for whatever reason. It just was what it was. We didn't meet as a team until that Saturday. But look what we did when we were there, right? So kudos to us on that. And then another consideration was a new membership. I know several presenters have talked about it, but I joined the team in 2011. I've never seen such growth as we had. 13 new members, and then we have, I think, 4 more in the background coming up. So we're just going to continue to grow. But what had happened when we grew, we now had to split the boat up, right? And we had to, and because you came in at different times of the year, we had to get you all acclimated. So that meant some of the seasoned ones going into the other boat and vice versa. So it did split the boat up. It was what it was. That's what we had to do to make ourselves where we are today. And so, it was that kind of thing. And then we reviewed the team priorities that we had, the questionnaire we had for December on the priorities. And if you remember, if you came to the December party, we gave you out the questionnaire in between games and food. And then we sent out an email to some of you and then had you reply on that. So I'm going to jump onto that and then talk about the races. So the main thing I'm going to look at are the priorities that we had, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 priorities you had. One of them being health and fitness, exercise, camaraderie, making new friendships, having fun, support and inspiration, being outdoors, and competition. So those were the things that you rated from 1 to 8, 8 being the least of your priority and 1 being the highest of priority. So just a guess, what did you think number 1 was?
Fun.
Well, that's interesting. Because according to us, it was health and fitness. That was our number 1. Number 1 was health and fitness. Remember, you wrote that. And then number 2 was exercise. Okay. The next one was camaraderie, making new friendships, that was important. And then having fun and support and inspiration, that went hand in hand. All right. Being outdoors was second to the last, and the last one was competition. So this is interesting. It was an eye-opener for me. Okay, so based on all that I told you, that's what warranted us to decide where we're going to go for 2019. So that pause told us a lot of things, that we really want to focus on us as a team, our fitness, our camaraderie, and with fitness, I think that also includes technique. Although we didn't write that, I think that was a given, that we want to work on our technique. And particularly because we're all new, we've got 13 new people, we really want to go back to the drawing board and bring us up to a level of playing field and get us going for the next year. It's not that we're not doing races, but we're just doing more work on ourselves and then the races. And then after each race, we're going to look back. The coach will have dialogue with all the coaches, see where we're at, go to the next race, see where we're at, that type of thing. So that said, April 14th is our first race. That's Baby Long Beach. Followed by July 27th and 28th. It's a 2-day race, but we only race 1 day on the 27th, so that's Big Long Beach. And then, that's a nice distance to see how we are going, because in between that, remember, we're doing the clinics. Then in September, and I believe it's September 28th and 29th, I have gone online, I haven't seen the particulars yet. So it's saying a 2-day race. I don't know. We've never been to Long Beach, San Diego before, but that's where it's going to be our race in September. So as we get closer, we'll talk about it. Hotels maybe, or you guys want to just drive or carpool. We'll get into all the logistics of that. And then in October, which is October 5th, and that's the end of our race season, we're going to do the Santa Fe Dam Family and Friends race. And that's when we kind of just wind down and enjoy. But I think these are 3 significant races where we can have markings of our success where we are in terms of exercise, camaraderie, techniques. So and then of course what some of our presenters already talked about, intermittent training from Coach Nathaniel, and then of course from Connie. And then we're going to have the 2 dedicated boats like they spoke about. So the outcome is that we go back, as I said, to the drawing board, identify our own techniques that need improvement, and select races that's going to see the progress that we're making. So for 2020, let's not rule out of state. Let's not even rule out international races. We've done Vancouver, right? That was a great venue. I wouldn't, what we will do in 2019 will be telling of what we will do in 2020. So I know a lot of you are asked about international races. I'm one of those too. I want to do international. I want to do it all. Yeah, okay, see? So we've got that going. So let's work towards that, And then you come back to us, to the steering committee, and say, hey, I'd like to do whatever race there is in Europe or races around the world, literally. Okay? Any questions?
Just a
Yes.
comment,
Yes.
since the priorities seem to be health and fitness and exercise, I think the grand result of that is we become a more competitive team, even though that was right at the end.
And-
it's the positive outcome
And
of
that could be,
those 2
yeah.
priorities.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It'll be interesting to see what will change us in the end of this year, because that could all tie in, like you just said. Yes?
Yeah, I do appreciate that we're taking a step back, and I know we have a lot of new members. But I know just starting on the team, when I was a new member, one of the things that really excited me was the travel and
Yes.
the racing.
Mhm.
And I know that we're really doing more local races this year, but I know we did the questionnaire, but it really wasn't about specific races. And I wish we would have included the whole team on voting on what kind of races we'd be interested in doing.
Mhm.
Because I kind of feel sad that we're kind of missing out on Vegas and maybe some other opportunities that we could have done as a team, and probably with larger numbers would have had enough for a vote, certainly this year, hopefully. We did have some medical issues last year at the last minute, so I don't think that we would have had a full vote in those races, so we can't help that, of course. And I don't know, love that have the team input, which again, the guidelines do say that teams should be have input into the races and vote on that, or doesn't say vote, but we should have input from the team to consider what we're gonna do the next year, and I think that was missing this year.
That's interesting. We, you know, and we did, again, going back to that, we did look at the out-of-state races, and for the amount of money that we spent, and to not fill a boat, and to not have the attendance that we, I mean, I don't think it's out of touch to say, can you be at 2 practices before we take off out of state? And we couldn't get that. And there's no blame here. You know, it's just, it is our fact of what we go through medically, and we work, we have families, so, you know, there's a lot to consider for that.
I'd like to say, personally, this time last year, we said, who wants to go to Montana? Everybody's hand went up. Okay? When push came to shove, we couldn't even fill a boat. So that personally, for me, put my input into the steering committee about how serious this team is about going to races. So when you put your hand up and say you're gonna do it, and there's been times we haven't filled a boat for Long Beach. Why? Okay? It's commitment. Whatever number 3 was here,
Yeah.
please.
And if I can get on that plane and fly, anybody can.
Yeah, there you go. And she did it. She did
The
it.
only reason why I wasn't going to Montana, because I'm terrified to fly, but I did it. That's right.
She got on a horse too.
That's a gift.
No, no,
No.
no.
It needed to be
We
said.
did what we did.
Needed to be said.
So that, you know, this is the end of my speech, but I was, just to add to it, I was so taken with Mike's speech. This guy doesn't whitewash anything. You know, he just says it like it is. And for him to see our potential, like I thought, oh my gosh, you know, and what a great time we're gonna have to do that, to become even better. I mean, I wanna beat Vancouver. Why not? You know, why can't we be, or San Diego?
Well, he did say San Diego was our biggest competition, and she mentioned that we probably will be going to San Diego. We have plenty of time to get there
Yeah.
and get ourselves conditioned to get there and win.
But we need the commitment that Shar spoke about.
Not more.
Let's show up
No,
for our
we'll do
attendance.
15.
Let's be
We're
there
not doing 15.
on
Oh, no.
time to do our exercise, to warm up. I don't want us being at a point where we can't, you know, it hurts because we didn't warm up. It's all of that stuff. And you know, if we just all make a personal commitment to ourselves, I think that would be great. That's it
Thank
for me.
you.
Thank you.